As you have been probably told many times, that we learn personality growth not for the sake of learning some definitions or understanding a little more of personality from the psychological point of view or sociological point of view. Basically, our purpose here is that you do well in a job interview, in a placement, and get on to a good company, a good organization, and do well in life. They're happy with the training and the process you have received at SJIM, and you become an asset to them and to your family and in the social world. I'm going to show you a video on a few tips of the do's and the don'ts in an interview.
Most interviews, no matter what the industry, are designed to assess a few key areas: professionalism, interest in the job being offered, fit for the job, including applicable skills, and personality. Here are some tips on the do's and don'ts of interviewing. Do be sure to dress appropriately for your interview. If you're a man, wear a suit. You can never go wrong with navy blue, a charcoal gray, a white shirt, and a nice tie.
If you are a woman, do make sure you wear a suit to the interview. Either a skirt suit or a pantsuit is fine. Don't wear large jewelry, loud colors, or too much makeup. Don't give a limp handshake. Nice to meet you.
Do give a firm but not bone-crushing handshake. The key to a good handshake is to get the web between your thumb and forefinger fully in contact with that of the person with whom you're shaking hands. Also, don't forget to make eye contact and smile. So tell me about yourself.
Well, I was born in San Francisco and then my family moved to Boston. Well, actually the suburbs of Boston, about 20 minutes outside, but you know, you tell everyone Boston. And then I went to UPenn in Pennsylvania, and I started out as an art history major, and then I switched to economics. But then I wasn't so sure, so I switched back to art history, and then I had to complete more credits to do the major. It was kind of a pain. So now I'm here with the possibility that I might apply to law school next fall.
This isn't a license to tell your life story. Rather, use this as an opportunity to give a concise summary of your career, abilities, and goals.
I'm a very energetic and organized person, which is why I'm drawn to opportunities such as this one. I have over 4 years experience at the associate level, and I'd like to further my career path. And I'm also fluent in French, and I've studied and lived in Paris.
Great. Interviewers want to know how you assess your good points and your bad points. What would you say is your greatest weakness or area that you can improve upon?
I have a tendency to oversleep. In the past, I've overslept and missed important meetings.
Okay. When discussing your weaknesses, avoid personality or character flaws. Instead, focus on areas that could be improved upon over time.
If someone isn't working hard enough, sometimes I end up picking up the slack. I'm working on just sticking to my own order of business.
So, are you married?
I'm single.
It's actually illegal for interviewers to ask you certain personal questions, such as your age or marital status, so you don't need to volunteer that information.
If you like, you can answer like this.
Let me ask you, are you planning to have a baby in the next few years?
I'd rather keep the focus on the job, not my personal life.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry to keep you waiting. Thanks for coming in today.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Do you have a copy of your resume?
Here you go.
Thank you.
Do you have a business card?
Yes. Here you go.
Thank you.
So tell me about your last job.
Well, it was really interesting because it had a lot of different elements to it. And I had a lot of responsibility in the position. For example, oh, excuse me. Oh, hey, how are you? Do you mind? Is that all right? Yeah, not too much. Okay, see you then. Bye. So as I was saying before,
If you forget and it goes off during the interview, apologize immediately and turn it off without checking who's calling or answering it. We hope these interview tips have been helpful. For more career advice, go to vault.com/videos.
Make sure that you have the resume on the top of your file and ready and on the table. Make sure that you have turned off your cell phone. And if they don't ask you to sit down, you can also ask them, may I sit down? Is it okay to sit down? If you like to have a glass of water, then don't be afraid to ask, could I have a glass of water? Similar thing shows that you are able to be assertive yet polite. Just going to put a few more things here. Okay. You can check also the website of the company, what kind of a dress code they would expect from you. We mentioned about a firm handshake, or sometimes can also give a namaste, especially at this COVID time. Go into the website and research about the company. I've asked Subway restaurant guys, why is it got the name Subway? And most of them have no idea. Most hamburgers are made in the round shape and they are minced meat, ground meat. So it has got the skin and everything in the animal goes in there. Whereas Subway made something in a shape of a submarine. That's why it's called Subway, submarine, and it's supposed to be whole meat and supposed to be healthy. So sometimes you need to make a little research. What does McDonald, Irish language, Mac means son, son of Donald. Scandinavian people use the son at the end. You find some of the Kerala names has got Mon at the end, like son. So Irish, Scottish names would have Mac, means son of. Or if you go to work for KFC, whereas Colonel Sanders' history. So begin to do some research before you go into interview about the company. They may have a particular logo or a symbol or sign. What does that mean? So listen well before answering. You can always say, I'm sorry, sir, I didn't catch that. Could you repeat that for me? Excuse me. So any of these are allowed there. If you don't understand, would you say it again? Don't assume anything. You see that word assume? It's got as in the beginning and make a donkey of you and me. So when it's not clear, he said, sir, I'm not familiar with that term. I quite didn't catch what you meant. Would you repeat that, please? So these are all assertive behavior, and you can always clarify that in doubt. So any of these terms that you see, understand the language. How cappuccino is made, what's the Subway, a lot of new American companies come. So anywhere you go for an interview, don't be afraid and take time to go to the website and understand things there. Waiting for the interview. So you see some do's here, and on the other side, so some don'ts. So posture is important. You notice the lady in the other video, gave the resume with the left hand. It's okay in America and Western countries. In India, it's important the right hand. You know, Chinese and Thais and some cultures in India, they would always put the left hand here to give as a matter of politeness and just stand up a little. So some of these symbols are important in India, the right hand and some symbolisms of body gestures. Western people, most countries of West and America, those things may not matter. You give the left hand, or if you don't stand up or something, that's okay. There are more here of the do's and the don'ts. You can have a quick look at some of these. And so be prepared for the interview. At the end of the day, this is an important part of all the learning and the thing you're doing to land you a good job and a good future. A company is going to expect from you when you join them initially, there are 4 things I have put. And number 1 is always, you know, their job, operation. This is the first thing you're going to be responsible to do that job. So know that people have worked there before, supervisors and others, find out all the detail. What do they expect from that? So the first thing they expect from you is that little responsibility given to you, the operation. And along with that, you got to learn the company culture. Everywhere there's a culture. Tata was our culture, Info is another one. Wipro, you know, each of them, depending also from the background from which they come, which country they come, they would have a particular culture, work and ethics and other things there. So make sure that you understand, because eventually you are going to become the spokesperson of that company, an ambassador of the company. So you got to know their culture, their way of doing. So there is a certain style in which you are to get into. Thirdly, you should also learn to work with the others, some especially seniors and all. So teamwork is a must in any company. And so keep good relation, good teamwork, good spirit, because a lot of things are done this way, interworking, you know, connecting with the other people. And fourth, ultimately, companies who have survived and gone up on the ladder, like think of Steve Jobs in Microsoft, by innovations they are brought, new ideas they are brought, new creative ways of doing they are brought to the company. So the future, your future depending on what you additionally bring. Oh, sir, this can be done differently, I thought. Can I design a different kind of software to enable this part of our work? So if you can be creative, even working over time, and bring this extra piece, would change your future and the future of the company. With this background and introduction to start with, we are going to now move into the introduction to the personality itself. And so let's get into the second part of or the primary part of the course itself.
Personality Development Skills, brought to you by Let's Talk Institute, a premier
Little
academy
bit of
for language
introduction
and
by
finishing
the
skills.
speaker here.
This is a demonstration
would
video
help
on
us get
personality
into
development
the
for complete
core of that.
program. Visit us at letstalk.company.in. Introduction to Personality Development Skills. Dream will not die, your plants will not fail, and your destiny will not be aborted. The desire of your heart will be granted, only if you
Believe in
believe
yourself.
in yourself. All want to be successful, for our peers, parents or simply ourselves. But the desire to be successful isn't enough. Success needs a lot of confidence and trust in oneself, and a great personality. Before you start to working on your personality, you need to understand yourself. Identify your strengths and weaknesses. This will enable you to focus on what part of you need the maximum attention. Answer the questions below and document your attributes, likes, dislikes, etc. and reflect on what stares back at you. What are your strengths and limitations? What would you excel at? What you like best about yourself? What is that you need to do to bring in tremendous positive influence in your life? What makes you happy? What would you like to change the most about yourself? What are you most proud of achieving in life? What do you wish you always had? Where and how are you looking for it? Answering the questions and making notes, you will be able to identify what areas you need to focus on, and areas can help you excel, to develop your personality. Importance of personality development. What is personality? Personality is what we perceive in our mind. What is inside, the thoughts or the conflict inside, contribute greatly to our physical appearance. There's a certain image that we hold of ourselves, and that is what is projected outside. Personality is what you are, and your identity. In this program, we are going to be presenting tips that you can relate to, and incorporate in your everyday life, to emerge as a well-rounded personality. Importance of personality development. The personality of an individual, which is manifested in the attitude, presentation and conduct, is extremely critical. Unlike other skills, personality is intrinsic to individuals and is very unique. Can personality development be taught? The answer is no. But it surely can be groomed. Personality development is not about choosing and adopting a particular personality. It is about the ability of an individual to adjust in his environment, and that can be
So you
facilitated
have
with
some
interventions.
idea of
Personality
that.
development is a continuous
I'm going to
process,
move on.
and the evolution.
We ask a question in life sometime or other. I'm sure. Who am I? Who am I? Some of the temples, if you have gone to, you might see a particular thing written on the entrance of the temples. Tatvamasi in Sanskrit means that thou art. It's part of understanding the I amness of it. When Moses asked God, "What's your name?" He said, "I am who am." And in Hebrew, it is written in 4 letters. I am who am equal to Yahweh. What Sanskrit we use the word Tatvamasi is similarity of this, of who I am. I am who am means Yahweh. So we are all part of God's reflection, the image and likeness of God in all of us. There is a little bit of that I amness within all of us, if you understand from religious perspective. So we're going to keep in mind when we use this expression, love God with your mind, your heart, and your strength, the head, the heart, and the gut, thoughts, emotions, behaviors. By our thoughts, by our emotions, our feelings, and our behaviors, our actions. So, behaviors, we learned already personality and environment. Inside of me, environment, what is outside, behavior is the combination of the two. A person has a personality by the Enneagram test. We got one of those 9 numbers. 9 is an important number perspective. Especially in India, you have many nines there. We'll come to that, understand this in the Enneagram teaching. We have like a Nava, Navarasa, many of these 9 symbols, we'll talk about it. The MBTI did the temperament test, introvert, extrovert, etc. And the 5-row made the trait. So we have 3 elements there: personality, temperament, and trait. So 3 tests will give us the result of all these 3. There are determinants that how the personality is formed. From our heredity or a DNA, we get a nature. From our parents, our nature comes in. It goes beyond our parents as well, grandparents and all. It runs in the family. The environment and situation form part of our nurture. So personality is made of 2 factors: nature and nurture. Nature coming from our DNA, our parents, and environment and situation also form us, where you are born, how you are raised, friends and colleagues, and the particular situation of the place we are born, all that affects us. So they are determinants of our personality. So all these parents and teachers and peers, situations, circumstances, we were born in a war-torn place. We were oppressed because of our caste or upbringing areas. Several things are part of these determinants in forming our personality. So notice this: your temperament, you don't change. You may acquire a little more of the T or the F or S or N. You don't change from extroversion to introversion. There may be time you act as extrovert, but basically you remain introvert or extrovert. You may acquire 1 or 2 points this way. So that is your temperament. It is genetically based. So some part of the personality may change a little bit. Your trait will change also, but temperament doesn't change. So it is something genetically based. So trait is a kind of a habit. You having a beard, a long hair, a mustache, the way you keep your hair, or there are many. We keep a trait. Many actors you are seeing, they keep a particular trait. and they appear like that outside. It's a trait that we carry. It's imitated or acquired as distinguishing quality. Okay? Typically belong, that person act like this. Many actors in India, that. A trait. So you have this picture now. Personality is made of nature and nurture, both. Temperament only nature, and trait only nurture that you acquire. So remember that for the exam. Personality, nature and nurture. Temperament only nature, and trait only nurture. Something you developed, something you acquired after. Okay.